Well, cricket is a gentleman's game, but when the stakes are high, teams often breach norms and play against the spirit of the game. You can take the example of monketing, the most common dismissal which polarizes opinions among cricket fans. Indian fans blasted Suraj Randeep for cheekily overstepping to concede the final run of the match and bar Virendra Sehwag from reaching the three-figure mark. Most recently, Shakib Al Hasan invited flack for being the first skipper to enforce time-out in international cricket. Australia, not known for being the most likeable blokes as an opponent, stuck to their reputation while facing the West Indies in the 1999 Cricket World Cup at Old Trafford, Manchester. The Aussies came into this game having won just the solitary game in their first 3 matches of the showpiece event. However, they hit back at the critics with an emphatic win over Bangladesh, quickly chasing the below-par target to boost their net run rate. On the flip side, West Indies bounced back from a defeat in their opening game to register 3 wins in a row. Going into the last game, they might have fancied their chances to make it to the next round, even if they had lost by a small margin. Simple, you'd think. Well, the match turned out to be a lot more than that. The ICC had set some complicated rules, and that could only mean one thing: loopholes. As per the tournament rules, teams qualifying from the first round would play qualifying teams from the other group in the second round, the Super Sixes. If a team enters the Super Sixes, it will carry forward the points scored against the other teams which have qualified from their group. In other words, if Team A beats Team B, then both enter the Super Sixes. Team A will carry forward those points for having beaten Team B earlier. We'll get back to this equation later on in the video. Steve Waugh asked the West Indies to bat on a sunny afternoon in Manchester. His bowlers soon vindicated his decision as they demolished the men in maroon from the word go. Glenn McGrath spearheaded the assault with a 5-wicket haul as West Indies were bundled out for a paltry 110 with Ridley Jacobs unbeaten just 1 run short of a 50. In the process, the wicketkeeper batter became the first man in cricket history to carry their bat in a World Cup match. The Australian chase wasn't as smooth as they would have imagined, but the low score meant that they were able to chase it despite the loss of wickets. After losing Ricky Ponting in the 20th over, the scoreboard read 62 for 4 as Michael Bevan joined skipper Steve Waugh at the crease. Before the start of the game, New Zealand and West Indies were ahead of Australia on the points table with 6 points in their kitty. A win here would help them tie with the other 2 teams, but they also had to ensure that they had a superior run rate to qualify for the next round. But given that they had lost to the table toppers Pakistan and New Zealand, they also wanted West Indies to qualify ahead of New Zealand. Is a Trans-Tasman rivalry that fierce, you may ask? Yup, the extra points. The duo first took them to safer shores by nudging around to score 25 runs of the next 6 overs. With just 19 needed at the next 24 overs, Michael Bevan and Steve Waugh initiated a measured ploy. Ball after ball, both the batters kept defending. They wanted West Indies to have a superior net run rate and hopefully enter the Super Sixes. Now this would keep them in good stead with the 2 additional points. In fact, the ploy began with them playing 21 consecutive dots before a message came from the dressing room during the overs break to amp it up a bit. Waugh immediately responded to it with a fantastic cut behind point for 4. The snail's pace did not sit well with the viewers present in the stadium. The crowd also took the chance of boring as the Aussies passed time to flirt with others' fortunes. Phil Simmons, a medium-pace bowler at best, was being treated with the utmost respect, each slapped by the long piece of timber. Australia did get the job done as the drama went on till the 41st over with no further loss of wickets. Steve Waugh ended the match unbeaten on 19 runs of 73 balls, while Bevan himself was no less as he finished with an unbeaten 20 of 69 deliveries. Sadly for Australia though, all the effort was in vain. New Zealand showcased a bit of their own charisma by chasing 122 down in 17.3 overs against Scotland to finish second in their group ahead of Australia and the West Indies. And the rub of the green went the Kiwis' way, for they were to play their last game after Australia. The 2 teams traversed different paths later on though. The Kiwis were thrashed in their semi-final encounter against Pakistan, while Australia dominated the same side to lift their second ICC Cricket World Cup title at Lord's. Maybe by then the impact of the prior events fizzed off, but it did not go down well with a few. The most remarkable was the outburst of Guardian's Matthew Engel, who went on to say, and I quote, "Some have thought the complexities of the qualification system unfathomable. Yesterday, the Australians fathomed them, and the result was a dreadful, shameful game of cricket." Well, was it right or not is something we can all argue about. But one thing's for sure, Australia knows a thing or two about playing in the World Cup. Thank you so much for watching this particular episode of cricket.com Classics. Keep watching the space for all the other stuff that you want to watch about the game that we love the most, and to take a stroll down memory lane whenever matters. Subscribe right now, you wouldn't regret it.